We saw with the creation of a controller how we get an output from the controller. So let's start off now with this chapter, like understanding the Phalcon models. Models in the MVC architecture includes all the logic, like whatever the database logic is to be developed. It has a core interaction with the database, and it should be able to manage like updating, deleting, inserting and fetching records as per the request which has been sent from the user. So for understanding it, first of all, I'll go to my local host PHP myadmin. I'll create a demo database because from the demo database, we'll understand the complete structure. So the demo database is to be created over here in this format. Like we have PHP myadmin over here. I'll create a database. The query for creating database is create database and the database name. Now I'll show it from here. UI level, if you just specify the name and just say create, the database will be created. Now I'll show from the query level. So that is like create. This is my query for creating a database. It's always a good practice for a developer to do it in this way. Demo DB. I'll mention in small letters. Demo DB. And that's all. So yeah, I have created a database successfully. For now, there are no tables in it. So I'll do one thing. I'll create a users table. So creating users table is just by specifying the name and the columns. You can create a table. So my users table is like being created. Now I'll say like I have ID as a primary key over here. So I'll give some of the attributes to it. So yeah, ID is my primary key, name, and that is varchar with 50 as length. And then next comes is email ID. This is my third attribute, and with the varchar of 50. And next comes is contact number. So I'll just say contact. Okay, so that is nothing but int. So I've successfully created the table with a storage in enough INODB. So I'll just save it. This thing can also be done with the help of a query level, that is create table users with the attributes mentioned in it. Now what you need to do, this is my structure. I'll do one thing. I'll insert some values in it so that you'll get to know how it interacts. So the values are over here with name, email ID, and contact number. So I'm mentioning over here. So that's all. I have added some values. So my structure is clearly visible here. So ID is my primary key. Next thing I need to do, after creating a model associated with the users, okay, we need to move on to a command prompt instance. So as a way we did it for creating a controller, in a similar way we'll create a model. So creating a model has a command like controller, that is Phalcon model and the model name. So my model name here will be users because my table name created is users. Okay, so it is giving me error table does not exist. So it means that there are some kind of configuration issues. So what I'll do, I'll go to my database, my project again. So this is my project. Inside XAMPP, htdocs, demo1. And here in my application folder, I'll check out for the configurations. So config.php, as we have seen in the previous chapters, includes all the configuration files. So here the DB name mentioned is test, so that's why it is giving an error. So I'll change the DB name to demo DB. Okay, that's all. I've saved it. Let's check out for the other configuration. Okay, the other configurations includes like it is hostname localhost, root is root, and demo DB. Okay, that's all. It is done properly and all the values has been clearly visible over here. So this was regarding the database connectivity. So now let's try out to create the model again. Model users. Yes, users has been successfully created. I'll do one thing. We'll move on to our NetBeans editor because that gives a perfect picture of how different applications, like different files have been included in the application. So let's begin with it. It takes a while to open. So once it has been we'll import this particular project demo1 and have a complete view of how it looks, like how different files and folders has been mentioned inside it. Now let's open the particular project. So I'll say new project with the existing resources because it's a PHP project. So I'll browse to my structure inside XAMPP, C drive. I'll check it out. C drive, XAMPP, htdocs, and demo1. So this is my project. So I'll say now over here, if you'll check out for the source files, we have app, controllers includes a demo controller, and models includes users.php. Users.php is nothing but the model just we created right now. So this way the model has been created. It extends from Phalcon MVC model architecture. This is the public ID thing we just created right now, which is a primary key. So annotation includes in it. Then we have name, which is a string character because it was varchar in MySQL. Email ID, again a string character because it was varchar in MySQL. So, and the contact, which is the integer. So these are like other functions associated with it, like static function. If you need to get source from it, so return user. So this is a way a complete model looks in Phalcon architecture. Class users extends this class name, which is the base class for models. That is Phalcon MVC model. So that's all for our understanding of the structure of Phalcon architecture. So another thing which you need to understand is that this users is the main person, users.php. If you see for the name conventions, controllers are mentioned with the suffix of controller, whereas model is just mentioned with association with the table name, because if the table exists with the particular attribute, so it will be very easy for a user to understand the complete structure or anything which is to be done. So in this way, model and controllers has been created. In the next chapter, we'll focus on understanding of how views are created and what different type of views are there. If you remember, we have just gone through some of the files like .volt extensions. What is this .volt about? Why it is used in Phalcon? So that all we'll have a brief description in the next chapter.